Was he husband material? Absolutely not. Sometimes it's looking at your kids and thinking, I could have done so much better for you. You feel stupid. You feel betrayed. They bash the moms for staying. Allow your children to see you heal. Finding ways that we can heal, that we can be better, that we can heal motherhood. You need to heal for the woman that God called you to be. It is possible to not have to pass rage down to your children. Focus on the purpose. Don't live so much on the pain. Stop entertaining anything outside of taking care of the kids. Hold yourself accountable for the role that you played in it.
Teach her how to jump and how to stretch when she reach, like the angels do, and you gon' make it through now. Tell about the healer, greater is the one within, and call him as the leader.
Hey lovies, my name is Shan. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you and welcome back. If you are still watching my channel and not subscribing, I just really have to ask, what are you waiting for? If you are watching my videos and you have not been sharing with your friends, why are you gatekeeping? In this video, I'd like to dive into a topic, a title that gets so many heated, that leaves so many with a bad taste in their mouths. We hear the term bitter baby mama all the time. But did we ever stop to think about the hurt that goes into that? Why so many women have that title? Let's talk about it. Being called a bitter baby mama can really hurt. But what if it's just a cry for help? What if the woman that we label bitter baby mama just really needs to start their healing? This video is about healing, reclaiming your power, and becoming the woman who you want to be, and not the woman that pain made you to be. There are a lot of women who receive this title, some undeserving, because sometimes these women are truly just fighting for the rights of their children, trying to get even the bare minimum, and they still receive the title. I was called a bitter baby mama. Who knows? Maybe today I am still a bitter baby mama, even though the decisions that I made might look different from a lot of women. I'll share my story with you real quick. I got pregnant with my daughter when I was 18 years old. It was not in my bingo cards, okay? I was a church girl. I was still going to school. And if I were to write my life, I would have written, got married, then had the kids, white picket fence, all that. Pregnancy was not on my list of things. However, it was in God's will for me because now I have a beautiful daughter. I would not change anything. However, the father of my child, it was his intention. So you know how men like to say, oh, she got pregnant to trap him. Men do that too. In case you did not know, here I am. Ta-da. So it wasn't my plan, but it was his. And I later found out it was his plan because when I found out I was pregnant, he was not in the least surprised. He's like, yeah, I know. He did it intentionally. The thought that he had was that if we had a child together, when his truth started to be revealed, when the mask fell off, then there was no way I was going to leave him, right? Wrong. But that was his thinking. Now, one would think that if you intentionally make a baby, he was 4 years older than I was, way more experienced, obviously. One would think that if a grown man intentionally made a child, then obviously it was in his intention to take care of that child. Well, unfortunately, in my case, I quickly realized that that was not going to be the relationship for me, and that's where everything went downhill. This man did not support my child outside of any engagements that him and I had. I was filled with anger. I was filled with anger because this is not what I had planned for my life. And I also felt disappointed for my child. She was pretty young, but I felt heartbroken because I was thinking like, man, I did not grow up with my dad because my dad died when I was 1 year old. And I've been through some things in my life where I always felt like if my dad was alive, I would not have had those experiences. And so for me, my fear was having a little girl or a little boy, having a child without a dad, knowing the trauma that I experienced because I did not have my father in my life. And so when I realized that I would have to be a single mom, that was not my plan, but that was the card that I was dealt. I didn't choose it. I have held myself accountable, however, for the decisions that I made, meaning it was my job to ensure that I did not get pregnant. I trusted him to do the right thing. Well, I thought he did the right thing. And obviously, like I said, he was more experienced. That did not happen, or it was done and undone, right? And so I took responsibility for that, for the role that I played in it, because I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have gone there in the first place. And to be frank, I knew then that this person was not husband material. This is another story for another day, but there was abuse at home and I saw him as the protector. He was my knight in shining armor. Was he husband material? Absolutely not. But I needed a protector. And so that's the role that I played in it. I knew this person could not be my husband. I knew that what I was looking for in a husband, this wasn't it. But I was still there. Again, I was 18 years old. I was young. I was dumb. However, it was still due to choices that I made. And so I ended up in the position where I think she was 9 months old when he stopped taking care of her financially. And he told me if it is that I wanted to be with someone else, then I should let that person take care of my kid. I cannot put in words how that made me feel. I felt like I was a failure because I'm like, man, my mom had to raise me on her own. I wanted to do so much more with my life. I felt angry. I felt rage. However, my decisions might have looked different from a lot of women. Instead of showing it outward and stalking him and doing all that, I kept it all in. I was depressed. I just did not show it because I wanted to be the best mother for my child. I suffered every day when I heard of him being with someone else. When I saw him with someone else, I suffered emotionally. I suffered mentally because I'm like, man, am I dumb? How did I end up in this position with a child, being left here to take care of this child alone while this man was out there just living his best life? And it didn't seem like anything bothered him. However, I was able to gather myself quickly enough. I had enough support from family and all that. And when she turned 4 years old, I brought him to court and I took full custody of the child. At this time, I was already taking care of her financially. I was already the primary parent. I just needed it to be done legally because in the back of my head, I was like, there is no way you're going to walk away from my 9-month-old and then just pop up when you feel like you want to. And chances are take me to court for split custody or whatever. I was not going to allow that. So I was like, you know what? At the time I was about to get married, I'm like, let me just square this away. You already gave up your right to the child because you did not come to see her. You did not take care of her financially. You did not try to take care of her emotionally, mentally. I'm like, no. You're out. And so I brought him to court and I took full custody. Let me tell you, that decision earned me the title bitter baby mama because it was all over the streets that I am bitter. I did that out of bitterness. And I'm like, but I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not pressuring you. I could have brought you to court for financial support, but I didn't. The judge asked me, do you want to seek financial support? And I'm like, no. And she said, well, if you don't do it now, you know you can't come back later and change it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, as long as he cannot come back and change this later, I'm good. And so everything was signed, stamped, and sealed. I walked away. I've never, ever called that man and asked him for money for my child, ever. I did what I needed to do. I made the sacrifices that I needed to make. I put things on hold so I could take care of my child. And even that, with that, I am still labeled, maybe until today, a bitter baby mama. I share my story to let you know that it really sometimes doesn't mean that you have done anything. It doesn't mean that you're doing what the next woman is doing. But the title, and I can tell you, at first it would bother me when people say, oh, she's just a bitter baby mama. I'm like, how? I'm not trying to blow up your line, trying to get back with you. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm not trying to force my child on you. How am I bitter? But then I realized that, hey, if we stand on our feet and we set boundaries, we are still bitter baby mamas. But I'm trying to talk to the rest of you. I don't think a lot of people understand the magnitude of the emotional and mental turmoil that a woman goes through when she realizes that she's about to have to do parenting on her own, or if she realizes that she's now gonna have to be a single woman parenting a child, or a single mom. It can be devastating. And a lot of people tend to think that it's about the man. A lot of times it's not about the man. Stop pushing that narrative that when you see women lashing out and you see them doing things and acting out, that it's because she wants to get back with a man. No, sometimes it's simply the disappointment. Sometimes it's looking at your kids and thinking, I could have done so much better for you. Of all the men in this world that I could have chosen to have a child with, I chose him. Sometimes the anger that you see in women, it's really just the anger that they feel because they feel like they should have done better by their children. It's really the children. It's the thought that I should have known better. I should have done better. Why would I have put myself in that situation? So before you're just quick to say it's about the man, think about, if you cannot relate, if you are not a baby mama and you cannot relate, maybe you should ask. Ask women, okay, what are you really on about? Is it that you really want to get back with this man? If not, what is it about? Because sometimes it's way deeper than you think. The betrayal that you go through, because for the most part, and I'm not talking about women who can clearly see this man had 6, 7 kids that he was not in their lives. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about women who had a dream, who imagined this man and them together, parenting, probably married and all of that. You do not understand what that betrayal feels like, because sometimes the promises that men make to women, they hang on to these promises. And so when they realize that that's not going to come to fruition, you feel stupid. You feel betrayed because you're like, that's not what the promise was. And unfortunately, when the baby's already here, you cannot just hand the baby back over and say, well, sir, I had this baby because I thought we were going to get married. We're going to be a family. Now we're not. Take your baby back. It does not work that way. Now you realize, oh, now it's just me and I still have to keep, even though you said, and it's a lot. Sometimes what we really need to do is to describe the thing emotionally, not based on behavior. Because this thing that we call bitterness is sometimes just the bodyguard for the pain. This is just how a lot of women express themselves, because they have to put on this tough, they have to be really hard on the man, they have to make his life hard, because this is emotions that need to be addressed. There is healing that needs to happen. And so if you are a baby mama that have been labeled bitter, but you know that it's really because you're hurt, you're disappointed, you're just going through it emotionally, you do not know what the next step is, you do not know how to express that, then this video is definitely for you. A lot of people are so broken, they do not know how to express it. They do not know the language for it. And so sometimes you'll see that show up as anger. You'll see it show up as control. You'll see them appear to be like really cold. Really what they are is broken people who have not yet found language for how they feel. And so because they haven't found language, then that is expressed in other ways. And we just label it like, oh, yep, she's bitter. No. She could just be hurting. Yes, she could in fact be bitter, but she could just be hurting. What we'll often see is pain that is unprocessed. And if you are familiar with my channel, then you would know how many times I have said it is important to identify your pain and feel your pain. You have to sit with it. You have to go through it. Because when pain is left unprocessed, that's where you have the issues. That's where it seems like she's obsessed. It seems like she's angry. She's using the child as a weapon, when really it's just the pain that needs to be addressed. That's where the therapy is needed. That's where the self-help is needed. That is where the acknowledgement of the issue is needed. Take it from me. Sometimes you're not bitter. You're just wounded. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay to be wounded. But if you're watching this video and you know this is you, get help. Get help. Sometimes as you go through these emotions, you can feel unseen, and then the uncertainties, especially if finances are concerned. Like if you are a mother, whether you're a single mother or not, Do you have any idea what it feels like when you're uncertain about your kids, how you'll provide, what you'll be able to provide, when you'll be able to provide it? That's a lot. And I think we look beyond these things sometimes from a place of privilege. Like, okay, so because you figured it out, because you're in an amazing job, and so if the man walks away, you can do it. You're going to look at another woman who's going through it, and you're going to look at her like, well, you should have made better decisions. The truth is, yes, because I am one of them who should have made better decisions. But when you're going to look at it and say, well, a woman who's going through these feelings, going through these emotions, you are going to try to erase that by saying she should have made better decisions. Like, I tell you what, it's so funny the world that we live in, because we never hold men accountable for the children. The only people that really do that are baby mamas who can relate. It's always, you should have done better. Yes, you should have done better. But are you going to tell men you need to take care of your children? Are you going to tell men you need to stop leaving women by the wayside to figure it out on their own? You need to be present in your homes. Instead of putting all the blame on the woman, I find it so funny sometimes when I see some of these memes, or I see people having conversations about single moms. And I always wonder, how is it that the single moms get bashed for staying? They don't bash the dads for leaving. They bash the moms for staying. So you're judged for being a single mother. But a man can be out here hanging with his friends, and his friends know that he does not support his kids, and he's not banished. He's not banished from the friends group. But that man's friends will turn around and tell another woman, oh, I don't do baby mamas because... But your homeboy doesn't take care of his kids. And you're going to turn around and judge a woman because she's doing it. And you hear all these theories. Single mom households have the worst kids. And I get it. And I understand that it is true. Statistics show it is true for a lot of things. But why is that? Why is it that the parent who stayed, if a mom walks away and leaves the dad with his kids, heaven is put on earth because she's the worst thing ever? But the expectation is that a woman should keep her kids, should do whatever is necessary, should sacrifice, should go to bed hungry so her kids can eat. But then she's still judged for the sacrifices that she makes. She's still judged because she's not processing her emotions at a speed that society thinks she should. Like, I just think there's something weird about that. There has to be something wrong with that. But in this video, what we are doing is finding ways that we can heal, that we can be better, that we can heal motherhood. You see, it is necessary to heal, not because of the man, not for the man, but you need to heal for your peace, for your own peace first and foremost. You need to heal for your child. You need to heal for your future. You need to heal for the woman that God called you to be. And as long as you allow this hurt to keep you stuck, you will forever be caught in this toxic cycle that you do not want to pass down to your kids. That unresolved emotion, that bitterness in you, even though it is to protect your brokenness, this is something that you will pass on to your children. And so they will not know what it is to have a healthy relationship. They will not know what it is to have a healthy co-parent relationship. They won't even know how to navigate life if they end up in a similar position where they are single parents. So not just for yourself, but do it for your children. Start your healing. It is necessary for you. And healing does not mean that you'll forget. What it means, however, is that you will free yourself from this place. You will free yourself from this feeling, from these emotions. I want you to understand that you can evolve. It is possible to evolve. It is possible to love again. And it is possible to not have to pass rage down to your children. A lot of times I know I have seen how women treat their children, and I don't believe that a lot of these mothers hate their children. It's just the unresolved emotions that they come out. You might not be beating them, but you're probably short-tempered with them most of the times. You're probably annoyed at their dads, that you look at them and they look like their dads, and you're just like, what he did to me, and your kids suffer for it. And so you have to make the decision to evolve. You have to make the decision to save your children. Growing up, I would hear this saying, children are mothers' babies, and father's maybes. And so I've never forgotten that. So even when I look at what dads are not doing and when they walk away and they do their own thing, I'm reminded of that. Oftentimes I hear women talk about the fact that when these dads say they don't have it, they mean they don't have it. They're not trying to get it. I don't have it, and that's it. And they expect you to go find it. They don't care if the kid dies of hunger. If they say, I don't have any money this week, they mean they don't have it. It doesn't mean they're out there trying to get it. You should go make the sacrifices. You should go steal, prostitute, whatever you have to do as far as they're concerned, but they don't have it. And so every time when I hear these things, I'm like, yep, children are mother's babies and father's maybes. What can healing look like for you? It could mean as simple as you start journaling your true feelings. And I always encourage journaling because this is where you can be real with yourself. You don't have to fake. I know, if you're talking to your friends, sometimes you might want to seem less emotional than you are. You might want to seem less resentful than you truly are. But when you journal those feelings, you're actually speaking your truth. And so that's one way that you can start. And of course, I will always encourage, if you need to go to therapy, I know therapy sometimes can be expensive, but if you are able to do that, I would definitely recommend that you get some therapy. You can find someone that you can trust that will speak life into you, that will speak the truth, that will hold up a mirror for you. That is also a really good way to start. And more than that, focus on the purpose. Don't live so much on the pain. Focus on the purpose. Look at your children. Look at the fact that, hey, you did not have to be here. Okay, there are so many times, so many incidents that women could get pregnant. And when you look at, if you have 1 or 2 or even 3, you're like, you were supposed to be here. Focus on what is the purpose for your life. Why is it that you were called to do this? What is the purpose on your child's life? What is it that you're being called to lead them into? Keep your focus on the future. What is it that God is trying to birth out of this situation? Instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm just another baby mama and I did not want to be a baby mama. And I get it, because social media, sometimes I see people say the most bizarre things. Like, sometimes I'm like, girl, it's not because you're more responsible than anyone else. The only reason this woman is a baby mama and you're not is because she chose to carry her child. You just didn't say that. The only reason why this woman is a baby mama or this woman had a child out of wedlock, it's because you have difficulties getting pregnant. Let's call it what it is. Let's be for real. Because a lot of us do have incidents and accidents, but we like to be, well, oh, at least she's worse than me. Stop doing that. And if you're going to call wrong, call wrong. But hey, the reality of the matter is, every woman did not get up and say, you know what I feel like doing today? I feel like becoming someone's baby mama. I feel like becoming a baby mama and then becoming a single mom. No. Stop blaming women because men left. And again, I am not removing blame from a lot of these women because we know a lot of them are terrible. But stop blaming women when the men leave. When I tell you my daughter's dad made a whole 360 within like 2 months after I got pregnant, he was like, well, she's stuck now. Let me take this mask off and let me show her light camera action. This man just, I was like, wait, what? You're not charming anymore? You're not sending me those cute text messages? He's just like, well, I got you now. So girl, this your man. This is it. This is take it or leave it. And I chose to leave it. I mean, I also want you to acknowledge your pain, acknowledge your emotions, but this time do it without shame. Do not do woe unto me, I am so stupid for allowing this to happen, but acknowledge the situation that you're in. And you know what too? Take some accountability, because almost always there's something there that we can accept responsibility for. There was a sign there was a red flag there waving that we ignored. There was a gut feeling that told us that this wasn't it, but we chose to see what we thought this person could become. Hold yourself accountable for the role that you played in it. So if you know that the signs were there and someone did tell you, I don't think you should be with this guy, and then it turned out that you really shouldn't have been with this guy, now you're a baby mama, accept some responsibility. Do not shame yourself. Do not blame yourself, but accept that, you know what? Yeah, I played a role in this too. Yeah, I did that. I contributed to that. Own your stuff. I also want you to stop stalking the past. Stop stalking what you think could have been and what should have been. And that could just simply look like stop stalking their social media. Stop stalking their social media. A lot of women keep themselves in that place of hurt and brokenness because they refuse to move on. So if you're over there with your fake page, checking what he's up to, who he's dating now, you're sending your kid over, but then you're asking, does he have a girlfriend? Move on. Move on. There's way more to your life than what your past or what your past could have looked like. And for the love of God, stop entertaining anything outside of taking care of the kids. I know a lot of baby mama and baby daddies who play that game back and forth, come over, do something for the kid, get in the bed, and then someone's out. And then most times it's the mother, it's the baby mama who ends up feeling hurt, ends up feeling empty over and over, because if it didn't work then and we're not working on making it work now, what makes you think it's going to work suddenly because you're sleeping together? A lot of times what we call bitter baby mamas are baby mamas acting out, lashing out because they know they are still sleeping with the man and he wants to pretend when he goes back home to his wife or his girlfriend or whoever like it's not happening. Girl, take some responsibility, okay? Stop. If you are in that place, I want you to focus on your passions. Focus on what feeds you. Find yourself a hobby. Figure out who you are outside of this baby mama, baby daddy dynamic. Who are you? What do you enjoy doing? Who are the people that you enjoy being around? Take yourself out of just being locked into the relationship or what the relationship was or could have been, and focus on yourself. Focus on your life outside of motherhood. Focus on who you want to become, who you want to evolve into. Because if you're so focused on your life and building yourself and elevating yourself, then you will find less time to stalk the guy, to be mad at the guy, to try to figure out what he's going on with. If you got something going on for yourself, then you don't got to worry about all that. I just want to encourage you and let you know that you are still worthy of love. You are worthy of love. The kind of love that you wanted to give, the kind of love that you hoped you would have gotten, you are worthy of it. You are more than your circumstances. You are more than the title, whether it is just baby mama or bitter baby mama. You are more than that. I want you to know that it is very possible to raise your child from a space of healing and not hardness. Your children do not need to know hardness of emotions. It is okay for you to heal while you do the mother thing. It is okay for you to allow your children to see you heal, to see you become better. You don't have to be like this forever. It is possible for you to be soft again. You just have to do the work. I know that sometimes when you have to be the mom and play the role of the dad, it can harden you a bit. I get it. You do not have to wear bitterness like a name tag. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to become. And if you've been watching this video and you know that this video was definitely for you, share it with a sister that you think she could benefit from this too. I send you love, I send you healing, and I really pray that you will get up and decide to heal. Take the tag off. You are no longer a bitter baby mama. You are a broken and healing baby mama. Thank you for watching this video. If you do share clips from this video, feel free to tag me on Instagram at blooming.shan. That's blooming.shan. And of course, I will repost your clips. I do look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.
Teach her how to hold a pretty hand up to the sky.